Hello and happy Thursday to you. Welcome back to today's live level up conversation. Whether you're tuning in live or catching me on replay, I'm just so grateful that you're here. Let's get started.
Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun. Market update. Speed round. Award-winning financial pro. And now, get ready. I present to you Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Well, hello, friends. I'm Winnie Sun, your host and award winning financial pro, Forbes contributor, and a CNBC council member. So, do me a favor, tell me who you are and where you're joining me from because I'd love to get a sense of, which streaming platform you're seeing me live. We're streaming about 8 different platforms, which makes this show really fun. We absolutely are live. And, this is a show that has come from the heart, something that we've been working on for quite some time. And so we love coming to you live almost each and every day. Now let's start and talk about how the market closed. And if you've been watching the market this past week, you're probably wondering when things are going to get better. In fact, the last few months, the last year has been pretty choppy, especially with all the Fed announcements and everything else. But unfortunately, not the best news today. The Dow closed down 110 points. The Nasdaq also down almost 100 points, down 97 points, and the S&P 500 also down 24 points. So triple down day. Now, stocks continue to show weakness today, part of it because of disappointing results that came out of Tesla recently. Nasdaq slipped, over almost about 1% today. Almost all the averages continue to be at a loss this week. In fact, we were hoping for an improvement. I'm not sure that it'll get much better tomorrow, but who really knows, right? We'll have to see and kind of follow that and see if there's better news tomorrow. But some of the concerns that investors had today were, of course, that some of the profit margin that was hurt from Tesla. So you saw some declines there, as well as other technology companies, as well as energy. Energy was hurt as well today. We're seeing some disappointing numbers out of American Express, AT&T, amongst many other companies. But next week is the real test to see if, in fact, this is going to help the market, because a lot of the big technology companies are reporting results. And I'm not very, very optimistic in that respect, because as you know, many companies continue to show weakness and are reporting layoffs back and forth. Now, speaking of maybe slight disappointment, I don't know. I guess it depends on which side of the fence you're on this. But speaking of disappointment, some of you may have seen earlier this morning the Starship rocket flight, right? Their motto, though, I will remind you, is this. Starship, this is, with SpaceX, they're saying fail fast, but learn faster. That's the company's motto. The Starship rocket had what they consider a successful maiden flight today before tumbling out of control. And in fact, there was a huge explosion in the cloud. It was like a debris explosion. But they're saying it was a good thing, because they're saying this was successful because it didn't explode at the launch pad. It actually exploded later on. Now, this was something that a lot of people have been looking forward to, like one of the most powerful spacecrafts ever. This is by the SpaceX team led by the one and only CEO Elon Musk. He's CEO of many companies, but also Elon Musk. And so he was very happy. Elon, in fact, went on Twitter, congratulated the SpaceX team, and said that they learned a lot in the last few months. And they're saying they're looking forward to a new launch, and I guess the coming months as well. I guess the engines throttle up to 16 million pounds of thrust, twice the power of NASA's SLS moon rocket. And this rocket climbed straight up before it tilted and unfortunately exploded. So I don't know if you saw that, but if you haven't, you definitely want to go back on YouTube or wherever else you catch videos and see the replay, because it's pretty exciting to see. No matter how you look at it, it is certainly a big feat of engineering genius there. So it's always fun to see what's happening. Whether you like Elon Musk or not, we got to give it up. SpaceX did an incredible job very, very big launch there. And even NASA has been watching this very carefully too, and really and it gave a lot of encouragement to the SpaceX teams as well. Now, speaking of things that are flying and speaking of things that buzz around, we got to talk about other news today that was shared out of BuzzFeed News. I know this is crazy. Now, for those of you who follow BuzzFeed.com, you're familiar with the word, familiar with the company name, you know that BuzzFeed has definitely made it's sort of like that modern day level of journalism, right? And I know in the past it was like certain older publications, but BuzzFeed has certainly become a go to for the next generation in terms of news announcements, media, and whatnot. But interesting enough, BuzzFeed News has just announced that they are actually going to be shutting down and they're going to be laying off 180 of their team, of their staff members. Now, the BuzzFeed CEO, Jonah Peretti, announced in a memo today that they was shut down and because they just couldn't make a profit. This is resulting in that layoff, and it's a 15% of their company workforce across all BuzzFeed News and other divisions. Now, going forward, what's going to happen is BuzzFeed will now focus its efforts on HuffPost. For those of you, who are familiar with HuffPost, the Huffington Post and whatnot, this was acquired from Verizon in 2020. This is their flagship, one of their flagship products, in addition to BuzzFeed.com, which will still continue to stay operational. So they admitted that they sort of overinvested in BuzzFeed News, and they're citing reluctance to accept that large social media platforms wouldn't be providing the distribution and financial support enough to support this is sustain premium free journalism. So for those of you who have local newspapers or follow national news, you know this has been a constant challenge, right? As information is shared now more readily on social media and different platforms, unfortunately, they can't sell advertising as much as they did before. And the way that people consume data and information now has changed dramatically. And so that's what I guess has led to the demise of BuzzFeed News. So, unfortunately, hopefully, the 180 employees that were affected end up finding new positions, maybe within the BuzzFeed.com family or HuffPost. I know they're going to be offering different roles for these BuzzFeed News journalists to match up areas that they're interested in expanding coverage on. But yeah, just another bit of news that unfortunately wasn't the best, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Now, on other news that I thought was interesting for those of you to pay attention to is the matter of credit card debt here in the United States. Believe it or not, credit card debt continues to be a major issue, even after we're sort of we've been in the pandemic for a very long time, but as things started to get better, people were going to things back to normal, right? Spending again, traveling again, but no. Credit card debt still a huge problem, especially for the big U.S. banks here. $3.4 billion problem, in fact. Now, this includes problems for banks such as Bank of America and other major banks there that issue credit cards, I should say, like Chase and Discover, Amex. And so basically the four biggest U.S. lenders actually had to write off $3.4 billion in bad consumer debt. And in fact, this was just in the first 3 months of 2023. We've seen a 73% increase of bad credit card debt compared to previous times. So this is really interesting because we thought that things were getting better with the pandemic. Obviously, based on what we're seeing in credit card debt, that's not the case. So just so you know, although you want it to be over, we want the pandemic to be over, if we look at financial numbers, we can tell that people are still struggling to make ends meet, still be able to pay for things, and maybe, just maybe, I don't know, there are cases where people are maybe spending too much compared to what they earned, and that there still needs to be a lot of work as it pertains to credit card debt and consumer debt. And really, this just goes to show with the sky high inflation numbers and the Fed increasing interest rates that there are still reasons to consider that what are things that we need, what things need to be changed? Do we need to do more financial education? Does income need to get higher? Does expenses of what people are spending need to decrease? And maybe it's even a combination of all those things. And let's just wrap that with another layer of the need of financial literacy and teaching good financial habits in the classroom so that, Americans can maybe have more information and better decision making in their financial decisions. But nonetheless, I'm sure inflation isn't helping this at all. So this is certainly a concerning number. So hopefully those in Washington D.C. are paying attention, because I do think that we need to get a handle on credit card debt for sure. All right, now next story. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of good stories today to share with you. I see Theodore joining us on LinkedIn Live. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. Vicky is joining us on Facebook Live. Wow, a lot of people joining us all different platforms today. It's wonderful. Don't be shy. Let us know how you're doing, and of course, where you're joining us from today. Geography is always really interesting to see where our viewers are from. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so here's another topic. I know a lot of people, in fact, are getting married this weekend, this month. I have a good friend, Jessica. Congratulations on your wedding in the next few days. Congratulations, you. Well, if you're going to a wedding soon, maybe you're getting married soon, this news might be of interest to you. And this is the company of David's Bridals. Now, if you've ever been married, or you've gone to a wedding, or you've been part of a bridal party, you know David's Bridals. In fact, they sell 1 out of 4 brides their dresses. Well, unfortunately, this company is filing Chapter 11. It is the largest bridal retailer in the United States. They sell bridal gowns, they sell bridesmaid dresses, and other formal wear. Unfortunately, they are going Chapter 11. And despite the recent rebound of weddings past the last few years of the pandemic, with COVID-19 being a big issue, and even with, CDC saying that things are getting back to normal, unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's enough to keep nearly 300 stores of David's Bridals and website operating at full capacity. So, unfortunately, they're going to honor gift cards, which is a good news. They're going to honor gift cards, returns, and exchanges. But if you're looking to get married, or you have one of these gift cards, you definitely want to act on this news. The company has around 10,000 full and part-time employees, and it says it's going to be laying off over 9,000 of those workers. So what's going to happen the next channel, we don't know, but they've been in business. I guess they started in business as a single bridal salon in Florida in 1950, but that unfortunately looks like it's going to change. Bankruptcies are piling up, unfortunately, in many retailers. You probably have heard of Bed Bath and Beyond going bankruptcy and everything else. So this is the retailer's second bankruptcy in 5 years, and it suffers severe liquidity constraints. So sad to say, hopefully, someone can go in there, help things out, because I know there's a lot of brides out there who depend on David's Bridals, and probably would depend on them in the future as well. So that's the news for today. I wish I had better financial news for you, but it is what it is, right? Theodore is saying they will probably restructure, close stores, and go mostly internet. That seems to be the trend. I think this is like brick and mortar stores. A lot of stores are going in direction, have been going that direction for many, many years now. But I ask you this, for those of you, I remember when I got married, I had to try a lot of dresses on before I decided on that final dress. So it'll be interesting to see if people adopt to buying and trying on wedding gowns virtually. Does it work as well? Will it work? Will that business model work? I think it has to, right? Because it is what it is. Like Vicky is saying, like a good wedding. wedding congratulations to a happy couple. Yes, absolutely. For those of you who are getting married in the near future, congratulations to all of you. We are really happy for you. Hopefully you have your dress already picked out. I think things will just evolve. Things will evolve, and we'll just have to follow it as closely as we have always. Now, for those of you who are watching me live, I did want to make a note and share with you. I know a lot of you look forward to our In the Loop segment that is tomorrow, usually on Fridays. Unfortunately, we're not going to be doing In the Loop this Friday. We have a very, very important part of our team member, and he's taking a very well deserved day off. So we're celebrating you, Curtis, tomorrow. And so we're actually going to be not going live for Level Up. In the Loop live tomorrow, but we'll be coming back next week. So don't worry. Greg and I will be back. But for those of you, maybe you can just have an early weekend, celebrate early, celebrate with someone you care about, someone you haven't seen in a long time. Pick up the phone. And of course, if you have nothing to do, share Level Up with your friends and your family and community on all of our social media, and make sure to tag me at Winnie Sun so I know to probably thank you like I want to do for Vicky and Joshua and all the people and all our friends who continue to support the show. Thank you so much for watching Level Up. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like and subscribe and to stay up to date on our latest content. And you can find full episodes of Level Up with Winnie Sun on NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, Samsung, Roku, and many other platforms. And don't forget to check out Yes Factor with Winnie Sun on Apple Podcasts and the LinkedIn Podcast Network. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care and have a beautiful weekend. Bye-bye now.